That's our boy. Oh, hello there.
Hi.
Oh, well, hi, Jacob. Thank you. Jacob Luttrell, everybody. This is Katie Shorey with Songwriters Vantage. We've just been entertained sitting here with the amazing Jacob at Wits End in Venice, where we love to be, and you just rocked the freaking house, completely packed. You couldn't get anywhere. What an amazing set. How'd tonight go? Hi, Jacob.
Hi. How are you? Tonight went good. It felt really nice. I wouldn't say I rocked it. I would say more that I R&B'd it. Maybe I sold it.
In the sense that the audience, the head bobs, I think that's a rocking thing, no matter what it is. You had, talk about your band tonight. You had two violins, a cello.
I had two violins, a cello. I had my bass player and my drummer that I always use. I had a guy who played some box percussion a little bit just at the beginning, and he kind of helped me, just kind of kept his ears open and his eyes open to make sure that I didn't have to worry about anything, and it went so well. It went so great. Everyone on the stage with me, like, they felt like family while we were up there. You know what I mean? It was beautiful.
We could feel that. It was just that kind of energy also in terms of your writing with everything that you've been doing. Well, tell us a few of your number one songs that you've written.
I hate talking about this stuff, but it's...
That's what we care about here.
Well, okay, because when you see a show like I just did, and then I tell you that I wrote these songs, it doesn't really make sense inside.
Explain that, because explain your sound. I mean, but he thinks you have hooks and melodies, and if it's a hook, it doesn't matter how it's interpreted. That's what you have, and that's what's hit songwriting.
Yes.
Anyway.
So I wrote a song for Enrique Iglesias called Tonight, and it ended up going #1, and it's like a worldwide hit now.
Huge.
I wrote a song for Jason Derulo called Breathing, which is starting to climb the charts a little bit. I wrote a song for David Guetta and Chris Brown and Lil Wayne called I Can Only Imagine, and that's also starting to climb the charts.
And did which one did they perform? He performed.
Yes, David Guetta and Chris Brown and Lil Wayne performed I Can Only Imagine on the Grammys. I'm working with a lot of artists. I have a lot of other placements, here and there that aren't out yet, but are scheduled to be coming out, and I'm excited about them. And they're, like, for me, more rewarding because they're more musical. So, and I'm not saying that those ones aren't musical, but they're pop songs, and they're just different. It's just not, for me, it's not as meaty as like the soul stuff. So, yeah.
I mean, he puts his guts and his soul into your music, into your performances, but pop is an international language, my friend, and
it's growing its own soul, actually, which is cool.
Which is good. And we have you now to help incorporate the soul into the pop.
That's my plan. Now you see what my plan is.
I like it.
That's why I started writing for other people.
How did you start? Just let everyone know a bit of your backstory and what got you to the place where you're writing with all of these huge artists.
When I was 3 years old, I heard Stevie Wonder, and however I could say it, I said, I want to do that. Really? Yeah, and my grandmother heard it, and my uncle heard it, my mother heard it, and they said, okay, well, then let's get him some Stevie. So years passed, and when I turned 9, my grandmother bought me my first keyboard, and within a week I had written my first song. The way I learned how to play, literally, was I had this boombox, and I put it on top of my grandmother's upright piano, and I would have the play button and the pause button ready, and I'd push play on a Stevie Wonder song, listen to 3 chords, stop it, figure them out, and then push play again and figure the next ones out, and push play again and figure the next ones out. That's how I learned how to play piano.
What about, did your parents, you didn't have piano lessons? They didn't make you do that? Or what?
Yeah, well, I had this, there was one particular instance in like 2nd grade where my mom was like, well, okay, well, it's time for, I got some piano lessons on a good price, and I went and for 2 lessons, and I was done. Honestly, like, there's some people that have to learn meticulous, the mathematics of everything, and from a young age I just felt it, and as a kid you can't express that, and grown-ups that are teaching that can't understand that when they're dealing with someone that can't express it. So how would they know that I just feel music? But I always have just felt music, and my family's been that way for years. My uncles are like amazing jazz musicians. My mom is a guitar player. My dad plays harmonica. He's musical in other ways, but that's for another interview.
So then what happened from there?
From there, a little bit further into school, I picked up the saxophone, and I played in band until my freshman year, and I sang in choir until my freshman year. I quit choir and band in high school and kind of just started doing it professionally. Really? Yeah, and in between there, I taught myself how to play the drums and the bass a little bit. The guitar, I kind of like was really afraid of until I was like 25. So I didn't really touch the guitar until I was 25. And then I taught myself guitar. Actually, my next goal is to learn the cello because I love the cello.
Why not? So obviously they nurtured you. You learned with your family. You sang in church, right? I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah.
What's crazy is that I did more drums in church than anything else because they needed a drummer, and I was like, I'll play them. I was 14, and I was like, give me some sticks, and they gave me a set, and I was like. First couple weeks it was horrible, and then after that I figured it out.
And that was Thomas Strayton on bass. Oh.
Not only a phenomenal musician, a dear friend, like truly one of my best friends in the world. Like I can honestly say I love that guy. He's one of the best dudes I know. Yeah, in a lot of ways. Yeah.
That's the people you keep with you.
You should be interviewing him, actually.
We'll get him next. Where is he?
Thomas.
For sure. But I mean, that's the thing. The quality of musicianship and the people that we have the pleasure of watching play. It's just so really wonderful. So happy for you. We're dancing. While you're doing this, when you said you stopped your freshman year to be professional, professionally, what did you do? And then, like, how is the writing? I mean, you're, ready to move into your mansion and whatever.
Almost.
6 more months. 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months. 6 months. Oh man. Okay, so when I was after high school started, and I kind of connected myself with this hip hop group who just traveled. It was a gospel hip hop group called God Quest, and we traveled and ended up going like all the way to, England. And came back and recorded a few CDs. And when I started recording, I fell in love with that immediately. I had this friend, her name was Shorey Brown. Her name is Shorey Brown, and she is my friend. She got me started really, really early, and she lived in LA, and I lived in my hometown of Fresno. And she would bring me out and like teach me how to record and show me like while she was doing it. She was an amazing singer, impeccable voice. Just recording and just doing as much as I could, as getting as much experience in every part of the industry as I could. And it kind of just trained me as I went, when I thought I heard something I liked, I said it or I played it. And that's how I started writing. That was it.
I'm sure you'd recommend that to the people who would love to be, doing what you're doing. And yes. In the position, you just got to work your butt off. And
I would recommend finding out what works best for you, because I've found a lot of people ask me to teach them, and there's just certain things that I can't teach because I don't really know. I just do. You know what I mean? And like what I did is I found out what worked best for me. And what worked best for me was continuing to record, like recording everything I heard. Like if you get a tape recorder, if you get, anything that'll help you be better at your craft, find out what it is. And you got to, there's going to be a lot of testing and like figuring out, okay, that worked or that didn't work. That, you just got to keep doing it. It's not going to be overnight. That would be my advice for people that are trying to figure out how to do that. Find out for yourself. Where I started when I was back in Fresno, I used to sit in they had this blues night. Wednesday night was blues night at this place called Zapp's Park. And it was just this really divey, like it was like a hallway with a painted city on the back wall. And like this guy named Bennett Clark used to play there, and I used to sit in on keys with Bennett Clark. Didn't sing anything. They didn't know I sang. They had no idea because I didn't want them to know. So I went in. I just wanted to like figure out how to play with the band, and I knew I could play piano by myself, but playing with the band is a whole different beast. So I just like, they would play blues changes and I would just, and they would like, I would just try to follow them because that's how I play. I play by ear. I don't, but I only knew a few chords still. I knew how to get to some, but this is how I figured out how to actually play with a band. And
so that's your tip, guys. Sneak up on stage or find people, find dive bars, and just fake your way through it until you learn how
fake
to
it till you make it. It
There you
is
go.
one of the best
Amen.
tricks in the book.
Come on.
Fake it till you make it.
Come on, if nothing else, that's what you've learned today. Now, tell us this. How did that transition into you writing these hit songs with these people? Like, you got signed to a publishing deal or what?
Let's be honest. Money slowed way down. And I was just like in this rut where I was just like doing the same gigs, playing the same songs over and over again. They weren't my songs. I was just doing covers to make ends meet. And a gentleman by the name of Barry Squire came into Teddy's and said, come to this audition and have a couple songs ready and do some performance stuff. And I had no idea what it was for, but I was going to do it anyway because I needed work. So I didn't really care. Went and did the audition. Really didn't know what I was doing, but I did it, faking it till I made it. And I made it. They asked me to come and do some programming.
What was the it for?
This publisher named Mike Karen was looking for programmers and writers and top-liners, as they're called. And for those of you who don't know what that means, people that write choruses to big, sexy pop songs. Yes.
They need the hooky part. Yeah, that's this guy right here.
Top-liner. So
well, tell him you're singing the ooh.
Yeah. You.
When you hear that on the radio, that is our Jacob here. So, of course, meaning that's what they hired him for and what they saw in you.
They wanted somebody, because what Mike Karen does is he has like this power in the industry to come out with the best, simplest pop songs. And he has a formula. It's a formula. It's hard for me to like sometimes, subscribe to his formula, but it's beneficial also. Kind of hard to separate the two, like the stuff that I write for myself and the stuff that I'm doing, but you have to, because when I go into a session writing for somebody else, I mean, as somebody else, I'll say anything, literally anything. And that's why that song tonight, I mean, it's, it says everything basically.
You know the real version of it.
Yes, the real version says everything. But when I'm writing for myself, I'm taking care of what I say, because I wrote this song called Written in Stone, and it's literally about, like, if you have this platform of music to say something to the world, are you going to use your words as a weapon, or are you going to use your words to uplift people, And so when I come out as an artist, if I ever get to do that, what am I going to say? What is it going to be that is my legacy, Yep. So it's a thought always, but not when I'm writing for B.o.B, Flo Rida.
I know. Oh, that's right. So the Wild Ones that you just did with Flo Rida and Sia, right? Talk about that.
Sia is amazing. I was definitely blessed to be a part of that song. I went into to help fix a bridge, and ended up getting a couple lyrics on that song, and that song is huge. Oh, I heard you were a wild one. You should sing it. Katie sings too, everybody.
I do. We'll sing together someday. Thank you. But I'm like bopping around to my radio. I'm like, Jacob's wrote this song.
I mean, yeah. Like some of the people I get an opportunity to work with blow me away. Like I would have never imagined that they were as talented as they were just from the stuff that they have on the radio. But the thing about pop music is that not a lot gets past, the pop filter.
How can people chase you down and find you and stay up with your shows and get your music and what?
The best way to do it right now, the absolute best way, is to find me on Facebook and be my friend.
Yeah. Aw. Thank you for your gift of music, because I can't imagine my life without that. So on that note, Jacob Luttrell, Luttrell.
Yes.
Find him on Facebook. He's going to add you and stay in touch. You invite them to shows,
yes.
And we just really appreciate it. Hug, sweetie. This was so fun. And by the way, a shout out to our Blue and Green showcase and Angelique Shepard and Dave Garner, who brought us out tonight.
Yeah, they're awesome.
We met Jacob a few years ago as part of these showcases. You always rock it and bring it home at the end of the night, and we just love it. And, of course, to Jeb Milne and Wits End again for another gorgeous night, sitting in his beautiful cottage here. Thank you, my friend. We're excited to stay up with everything that you're doing. Proud of you, if that's what we just love it. So for now, Katie Shorey with Songwriters Vantage, Jacob Luttrell, and by the way, check out the shoes if we don't mind. There we go, buddy. Take us out. Take us out.